Hey everybody, it's Andrew here at Vespa Portland, back with another walkthrough of another scooter. This is the Genuine Hooligan 170. Here in Portland, Oregon, in the United States, with Washington State just a few miles up the freeway. Both of these states are going to require a full motorcycle endorsement to operate this scooter. Anything over 49 cc's needs a full endorsement. To get your endorsement in Oregon, you can check out www.team-oregon.org and get signed up for a motorcycle safety class. Once you've passed that class and gone to the DMV and taken your written test and got your new license that has your fancy M endorsement on it, you're also going to need to carry motorcycle insurance on this scooter and title and register it with the DMV, have a license plate, up-to-date tags, that sort of thing, just like any car. We'd also recommend that you wear a riding jacket with gloves, but by law, all you really need is a DOT-approved helmet. In Oregon and Washington, you have to follow all the same rules as any car or truck. So that means no riding in a bike lane, no riding on a sidewalk, no parking on a sidewalk. All right, let's move on to the features and functions of the Genuine Hooligan 170. So let's get started. First off, look at this scooter. Are you thinking Batman? Are you thinking The Batman? The movie that nobody can tell if it was good or not. Because, you know, you got Catwoman at one point with a motorcycle on top of a tower, and then she just rides away. Like, where'd you go? Did you ride off the tower? Did you ride to a freight elevator and wait? Or all the scenes with the motorcycles on wet cobblestones with leaves? That doesn't work in the rain. Like, what? Movie was weird. 40 minutes too long. Great sequences, but also some terrible sequences. Let's get back to the bike. This looks like a Batman scooter because it's got a tough-looking aesthetic to it. I'm going to tell you, it doesn't, go crazy fast like any kind of Batmobile. You're going to be around the 65-mile-an-hour range top speed. It's a really fun scooter to ride, especially for taller riders, because the seat, you can really sit back on it, and there's a lot of room for your feet there. The Genuine Hooligan 170 is a tubular metal frame with plastic paneling around it, which is going to keep that weight down. It's a 168.9 cc engine with 11.2 horsepower, which in Oregon means that you could take this thing on the freeway for short trips. Our speed limit here in the city is 55. I wouldn't take it on a crazy long freeway trip if it was me, but some shorter things can be done in the right lane. But it's going to have plenty of power to handle any kind of rural highways in our area, like out to McMinnville or out to like Sandy or Estacada, that sort of thing. You could do some fun rural highway rides, where the speed limits are about 50 and most people are going 55, 60. It'll handle that no problem. So not having to shift in high traffic environments makes scooters an excellent choice for in-city riding. The 170cc engine is going to give you something in the tank in case someone does something dumb in front of you. You can kind of just throttle out of the way. Where on some of the smaller bikes like the 49cc scooters, capped out, you're 35 miles an hour, there's nothing left to give. This gives you a little bit of peace of mind that you do have some extra power to get away from a sticky situation. The Genuine Hooligan 170 is also going to have plenty of power to get you up a hill at or above the posted speed limits without, slowing down traffic behind you. The scooter weighs 278 pounds and has a very low center of gravity. Obviously, most of it is going to be centered around the engine and back wheel here. So it's going to make it real easy and nimble to get around, kind of, shift your hips and you're in the next lane sort of thing. The seat height on the Genuine Hooligan is 30.75 inches. Should be good for most riders, but definitely come into your local dealership, whether it's us or somewhere else in the country. Have a seat on it. Get it off the stand, put your feet down, and see if you can touch with both feet. Ideally, you can touch with both feet. Some shorter riders, the reality is you just have to touch with one and kind of lean the bike over. But at the super low center of gravity and 270-ish pounds, shouldn't be very hard to handle this thing. This isn't like a 900-pound motorcycle. The Genuine Hooligan 170 is also a fuel-injected scooter, which is great because there's no carburetor to clog up if this bike sits for, a month or two in the months where you'd rather not ride. If you're not going to be a daily rider all the time, you're going to put your bike away for, the rainier, colder times in Portland, bring it out on a nicer day. You can do that. You can get away with that. This thing will start up no problem as long as you've been taking care of the battery. Don't let any scooter battery sit for months and months on end. They're, nowhere near the size of a car battery. They're roughly this big. Invest in a battery tender. It's worth it. It's about 40 bucks. Plug into the battery, add the pigtail, whatever, plug into the wall, and keep your battery tip-top. So when you want to ride again in the nice weather, you can. We're going to start about the dashboard and move our way down toward the seat and just see what the Genuine Hooligan has to offer. Here are the keys on your Hooligan. You get two of them, and they're identical. Put one somewhere safe in your house, Put one on your key ring, obviously, to ride with. You can make more copies of these if you would like as well. Okay, down here on the ignition, you're going to see 3 different positions. You've got the steering lock, off, and on. The steering lock is a security feature. In public, whenever you park, you're going to want to turn your bars all the way to the left and turn your key to the left, and that will lock the steering. I'm trying to turn the bars right now, and you can see that the bike is not going anywhere. Very important that you do that every time you're out in public, just so nobody can walk away easily with your scooter. The next position would be one to the right, which is the off position. That's going to let the bars move. And then last is the on position. When it's in the on position, the dashboard is going to come to life under battery power, and that's the first step in getting your scooter started. The speedometer on the Hooligan is digital. It's where this 0 currently is, as is the total mile odometer and the trip odometer. The tachometer is on the left, showing your RPMs. To move through the dashboard, you're just going to use these buttons here. If I press and hold on this button, it actually takes me to kilometers an hour, and if I press it again, it takes me back to miles per hour. The one on the right side is going to take you to trip odometer. You can see it says 0-0. The reasoning is, in a clock kind of digital format, you can't really put a point. This would say like 12-5, which would indicate you've gone 12.5 miles. The dash takes the place of the point. If your trip odometer needs to be reset at a gas station, you can just press and hold on this button to clear it out back to 0-0. Next one is going to be your total miles. And then on the outside, of course, is your fuel, showing that we're about a half tank of gas, full being on this side. Of course, your scooter is also going to come with mirrors. To make small adjustments, you can just grab the mirror itself and move it around. If you need to make larger adjustments, just bring this little cover up, and down here it's a 14mm nut. Just loosen it up, move the mirror exactly where you need it. Maybe you have it too close in and all you're seeing is your own shoulder, and then tighten them right back down. So the controls on the left side of the handlebar are as follows. The first one is, this is your rear brake. This is going to provide about 30% of your braking power. This switch right here is the high beam and low beam switch. High beam up, low beam down. And you can also flash it at people if you would like. Below that is the turn signal indicator. Press it to the right, you're going to hear it make noise, this ticking noise. Same deal if you press to the left, you're going to see that the lights are illuminated. Turn signals on these scooters do not self-cancel, so when you're done making your turn, it's on you to press in on this little gray button to cancel out the turn signal. Down below that is the horn. This is what the horn sounds like on the Hooligan. Moving on to the right side of the handlebars, we've got a front brake. It's going to provide about 70% of your braking power. This is your kill switch. This is the no run position, and this is the run position. You're going to have it in the run position to get your bike started. But you can just turn off your engine out while you're riding by hitting that button to the downward loop with the X in it. Down below that, we have hazard lights. The hazard lights are going to make the same sound as the turn signals, but it'll of course flash all of your turn signals at the same time. It sounds like this. If you ever hear that noise and you're just pressing in on your turn signal button, like, why is it not canceling? It's because you accidentally hit this with your thumb. And down below that, you have the electric start. To get your scooter started, we're going to approach it as if it's parked in public, and right now the handlebars are locked, steering is locked, so I'm going to pop the key into the ignition here and turn a click to the right to undo the handlebar lock. And then if I wanted to get it going, I would click one more over to the on position, let the bike come to life and run through its initial processes. Make sure that my kill switch is in the run position right here, hold a brake, either side works, and then press and hold the electric start until the bike comes to life. Done riding, I'm gonna park, I'm gonna hit the kill switch to kill the engine, then I'm gonna take the key, turn off the battery power, turn the bars to the left, lock the steering, pull my key, and walk away. Moving further down the leg shield, you can see the open air glove box right here. There's also gonna be a bag hook, and around the corner, a USB port for charging a device. This right here is the gas cap, and to access the gas on the scooter, you're going to have to push in on the key and turn to the right. That's going to bypass the on position and pop the gas cap open. This is a cool design in my opinion. Some people really can't stand it, but I like it because it means you can sit on your scooter and just pump your gas directly in without even getting off the bike. That's fun. The gas tank is about 1.58 gallons, and if this is basically like every other modern scooter on earth, the gas light's going to come on when you have about a half gallon of gas left. If you go right to the gas station when the gas light comes on, just put in a gallon of premium gas and just move on with your day. There's really no need to top off the tank and risk a spill. Why overflow it to get, 3 more miles range out of a tank? For any new riders in Oregon, you can't pump your own gas here in a car, but you can on a scooter or motorcycle. All right, let's close this thing up, and next up we'll show the USB port. Your USB port is going to be right above the gas cap on the left side of the scooter. It's got a little protective weather covering here. You can just pop that out of the way. Plug in a USB cable and charge a phone. A lot of people like to have a little phone mount up there on their left mirror, and then you could run the cord right to it to keep your device charged and have access to Google Maps. When you're not using it, of course, just cover it up with this, keep the moisture out of it. Another function of the key is to get your seat opened up. But for the gas, we pushed in on the key and we turned to the right and it popped open the gas cap. You can see that again here. Now I'm going to push in on the key and I'm going to turn left. So I'm bypassing the steering lock by pushing in. And when I turn to the left, the seat will unlatch. In the seat storage compartment, you're obviously going to have some storage under here. Your helmet may or may not fit in this bucket at all. If it does not, it's not a huge deal because you can put your helmet right here on these little posts that are sticking up, and then the helmet can sit in this area, and when you close the seat, it is locked in. The bucket, though, it's not a terribly small bucket. It's just not super deep. So I can tell you now, without even bothering trying to put a helmet in here to show you, pretty much no helmet except like a fairly useless half helmet that probably wouldn't protect you in a crash is going to fit in this thing. Included in the underseat storage, you're going to have an owner's manual. You're also going to have a little cargo net, which is kind of cool they give you for the floorboards, which we'll cover shortly. In the back here, this is where your battery is going to go. And then, of course, you can see the service sticker on there. This is something that if you're a Portland customer, we put on your bike to let you know when your next service interval is. So let's close the seat and you get down to the floorboards. So the floorboards down here, it's a lot of space for your feet, especially for a taller rider with kind of bigger feet. Down here, you can see these hooks that are kind of facing the ground. This is where that cargo net would clip into, and then it would pull across the front here, and then there's also 2 hooks on the back side. Of course, your feet are going to go there too, so you got to kind of deal with the logistics of having 2 things on the floorboards simultaneously. Also with the floorboards are your passenger foot pegs. These are right here. You press in on them and they pop right out. When you're ready to put them away, you just press on the foot peg, slide it back in until it clicks into place, and you're good to go. Also down here at the floorboards, you have 2 different stands. You have a kickstand right here, which pops right out like a bicycle. I use the center stand right behind there, which I'll show you now. So down below here, you can see the center stand, which has 2 points of contact with the ground, which makes a 3-point contact when you're parking, your front wheel and these 2 posts. The main thing about the stand is when you push forward on the stand here, when you're ready to put the bike on the stand, you're going to want to put your heel up on the pad here, and then you're going to want to keep the seat flat, because if your seat isn't flat, you're going to be fighting yourself on pushing on one side or whatever. The leverage goes real easy if you are on both and you just push. For more parking tips, we have a defensive parking video on our channel you can check out. The Hooligan 170 has 12-inch wheels with dual disc brakes, which makes stopping very quick. You can take it easy on the brakes, just squeeze them both calmly and evenly. Tire pressure for the front and back tire on the Hooligan is going to be 30 psi, and it's just a Schrader valve. You can fill it up with any bicycle pump or air compressor. Your Genuine Hooligan 170 comes with a 3-year manufacturer warranty as of the time of this filming, and also 1 year of roadside assistance. That 3-year manufacturer warranty is going to cover any kind of manufacturer defect. It will not cover routine servicing that you need to do over the life of the scooter or any kind of wearable items. If you run over a nail, it's just bad luck. It's only like, it's making a crazy noise, or this light came on the dash and it's flashing, or something like that. Also, the warranty is not transferable to other people. If you bought this bike today and sold it to someone private sale tomorrow, that person will not receive the same warranty. The roadside assistance 1 year has some boundaries as well, of course. You can read about that in the documentation given to you with the warranty at the time of sale. The service interval on the Genuine Hooligan starts at 500 miles. So you want to get this thing back to your local dealer or service center and make sure everything is breaking in fine, it's all looking good, get the break-in fluids out of it, etc. For your initial break-in, just make sure that you're not just running full throttle all the time. In the first 500 miles, you're going to want to vary the throttle so you can vary the amount of heat that is being generated throughout the engine and make sure everything seats in nicely. After your first service is completed, we'll see you at 2,500 miles. That's going to be another kind of routine service is what we call them here, fluid-based. And then after that, another 2,500 miles will bring you to the 5,000. That is what we call a major service in Vespa Portland. Your local shop might call it something different. Essentially, you're going to be taking out the drive belt at that point and rollers and replacing that stuff so that you're not left stranded with a broken belt someday. The life of the belt is over 5,000 miles, but better not to chance it. Every 5,000, change that out. Outside of that, you're going to want to get your brake fluid flushed every 2 years or so, especially if you live in a wet, rainy climate like us here in Portland, technically being in a rainforest up here. Brake fluid attracts moisture. When that moisture is in the lines, you'll get a mushy brake over time. So good idea to clean that out every 2 years. If you ever need to check your oil on the scooter, it's going to be right down here. You're going to go ahead and screw this cap off all the way, wipe it off, screw it all the way back in, unscrew it, and then check the level. The thing that's nice about it on the Genuine Hooligan is it is a lighter color, so it's very easy to see the oil level on it instead of having a dark oil on a black dipstick. Way nicer to have this lighter version. Various accessories are going to be available for the Hooligan as well, including a rear rack, top case, windscreen, that sort of thing. Most of that stuff is direct from Genuine Scooters. You can ask your local dealer who probably has all those parts upstairs in their inventory, or you can check them out on scooterworks.com. But just know that most of the places that you get one of these from, they stock enough of that stuff, or they already have it on the scooter when you buy it. And lastly, colors and pricing. So as of the time of this video, which is April 2022, the Genuine Hooligan 170 has an MSRP of $3,699. Additional taxes and fees and whatnot will vary from state to state and dealer to dealer. You're of course going to have a freight and setup charge on these things because there is no Amazon Prime for scooters. You're looking at a nearly 300-pound scooter on a crate. Brings it up to about 350 pounds. You got to get that shipped on a semi-truck to a building from Chicago or from, I think, Atlanta, depending on kind of where you are in the country. So obviously there's going to be some charges involved in that. Oregon here is going to have what's called the Oregon Privilege Tax. It's a tax that's 0.5% of MSRP to incentivize electric vehicle sales, like electric cars. Of course, you have to register these with the DMV because they're considered a vehicle just like any car or truck. In Oregon, that means 4 years of registration up front. The most expensive county is Multnomah, and I think it's like $450 or something like that for 4 years up front. After that, you'll switch to every 2-year increments, just like with a car, and there is no DEQ or smog for some of you. No emissions testing is required. Don't think you're going to be beating the system or anything by buying a scooter from us in a no sales tax state like Oregon and then taking it back to a state that does have sales tax. The manufacturer's certificate of origin that comes with these scooters will clearly say Oregon on it, and the DMV will just charge you the sales tax when you get there. The house always wins. You're not going to beat the taxes. Colors of the Genuine Hooligan 170 at the time of filming are matte black, white, and matte titanium. But it has been those colors the entire time that the Hooligan has been made, as far as I know. So it's probably safe to say that if you're watching this in 2027, it's the same 3 colors, matte black, matte titanium, and white. You can see the different colors on our website, vespaportland.com, or on genuinescooters.com. It's April 2022 and global supply chain issues are still a problem everywhere, even more now that Shanghai is locked down again. If you are looking to get one of these, call your local dealer, see if they have one on the floor, and if they do, just go get it. Because chances are, just like with this bike, this is our last one. When it sells, I have no idea when we're gonna get the next one in. If there's a specific color you're looking for, again, get on the phone with your local shop and tell them about it, maybe put a deposit down and get your name on it so that when it does show up in the next 1 to 3 months, it will be yours and nobody else is gonna take it out from under you. We're getting into that time of year where April, May, June, July, 3 months is the middle of the nice weather riding season. So it also might be time to ask yourself, do I really have to have the matte titanium? Is matte black fine? That sort of thing. Do I want to ride now or do I want to have nothing for the next 3 months? There's a national waiting list on all of these scooters. We're all getting them from the same companies. And if somebody in Louisiana is faster than somebody in Kansas, they're getting it first and the person in Kansas is out of luck. If you're interested in making one of these scooters yours and you are in our city, Portland, Oregon, give us a call, 503-222-5700. 3779. You can also send a text to that number if calling is not your thing. So there you have it. The Genuine Buddy 170 is a great scooter for getting around town, getting around rural highways, or taking short freeway trips just out exploring with a kind of badass Batman aesthetic. If you have any questions about the Hooligan, leave them in the comment section below. This is Andrew here at Vespa Portland. Thank you for watching as always. Thank you for subscribing as always. These are fun to do. I'd like to do a lot of them in a row and then I get a little burned out and have to take a break. But right now I'm feeling kind of inspired. So we'll probably get another one going in about a week. Topic, I don't know. We'd also like to do a Q&A video at some point. We posted about it on the YouTube channel. If there's any questions you have just in general for us or about the industry or specific bikes, leave them in the comment section. And if we get enough of them, we'll do a video Q&A. Stay safe out there.